Good morning. I'm Yanis Vampakas, the Chief Strategy Officer of the Ocado Smart Platform. Simply put, we're a technology company. We're the company that has created the end-to-end system that delivers the groceries from the factory to your household. It's not just robots, it's the website, the AI routing, and the automated warehouses. For 10 years, our value has come from these giant hives, these centralized warehouses where robots swarm to pack your food. But today I will show you why the centralized warehouse model is becoming old fashioned. I will present a new plan to move from giant buildings to local networks. Let's look at slide 2. Ocado is at a turning point. Right now, we build centralized networks. We build massive hives 50 miles away from city. Look at the tech check on the screen. Our main tool is the robotic arm shown in figure 1. It uses a suction cup to grab items. It works great for rigid boxes, but it has a handling problem. That is to say, it cannot handle soft and irregular shapes, like a bag of oranges, for example. It's too clumsy. Because of this, we still have to pay humans to, to pack delicate items, and this is expensive. Today, I will cover the market. Why these giant warehouses are losing us money. A tech check, an analysis of the existing technology, and the strategy, how we must actually change. To do this, I first of all have to do a market analysis using the pestle analysis to see how these five forces are squeezing our business. First are the political factors. Cities like London have introduced the green zones, the ULE zones. They charge us £12.50 every day for every diesel van. For a fleet of 2,000 vans, that will cost us £9 million in taxes. Second are the economic factors. Interest rates are high, up to 5%. Building a £250 million warehouse is now too expensive. We cannot afford to borrow money when debt is this expensive. Third are the social factors. Customers have changed. They want delivery in 1 hour, not 1 day. A warehouse on the M25 motorway simply cannot reach a customer in Chelsea, for example, in 60 minutes. We're too far away. Fourth are the technological factors. AI vision is the game changer. It allows robots to see delicate fruit, for example, solving our handling problem. This technology finally exists today with the Google RT2 model. And fifth are the legal issues we have. New employment laws, like the Uber ruling, mean we can no longer rely on cheap gig economy drivers. We must hire full employees with pensions, which increases our labor costs by 20%. And what is the conclusion? The giant warehouse model is being killed by taxes, interest rates, and labor laws. So, to come up with a solution, we have to actually analyze the architecture of our platform. This is the Hive grid system. It's a dense 3D grid where robots swarm to deliver and pack our groceries. This process is a rigid straight line, as shown on the diagram. First of all, the customer order comes in. Second, the brain, the AI, plans the route how the groceries are going to get to your home and optimize that route. Third of all, the Hive, the actual robots, pack and pick your groceries. And fourth is the delivery, where vans can reach up to 50 miles the consumer. What is the problem though? The Hive is a giant block. It needs a perfectly flat floor. You cannot make it smaller. You cannot put it in a basement. This forces us to build far away from the customer. So what are the critical limitations we have to look into? Point 1 is that if you look at figure 2 here, the massive automated CFC, which stands for Customer Fulfillment Centers, is our standard giant warehouse. It weighs 2 tons per square meter. It is simply too heavy to fit in the small city shops across a city. Also, the robots, as previously said, are very clumsy. And they cannot pick strawberries, for example, or oranges. This means we still need human workers, which kills our profit. And third of all, we have to consider the high energy cost. A giant hive generates immense heat from thousands of motors. We spend millions on industrial costs and cooling systems to keep the hive running. The result, our machines are just too big, too heavy, too clumsy, and too expensive for the future. So what are we going to do for future planning? To map this out scientifically, we used Peter Sbart's scenario planning methodology. What is this? So we identified two critical uncertainties. As the methodology says, first of all is the AI capability. Will robots get smart enough to handle fragile items and different items and operate in chaos? And also, second, is the network topology. Will the future be centralized, as we said, or decentralized? This creates two options as shown here. The path one is, as we previously said, going on with giant warehouses, and the path two is utilizing AI to go local, as I will explain later on. So how does AI actually help? AI vision, as I've said, allows us to see in messy environments. They don't need a perfect grid anymore. They can adapt to old shops or be placed somewhere else except for the giant hives. So here we're going to analyze scenario one, where we go on with giant hives and what we currently have. But this is a trap. In this case, we don't use AI to adapt and change. We build massive buildings that last for dozens of years. But shopping habits change every 5 years. If everyone switches to instant delivery, our giant warehouses don't become very useful, as it is in the wrong place, as it might be in the wrong place, far away from the customer, and we cannot move it. Also, look at the risk of failure. If one giant warehouse, for example, has a fire, we lose enormous food supply for the whole region. It's just too risky. So this is the scenario two that I propose, the local mesh. What I mean by that is what you can see in the figure. Instead of one giant hub, we look at high street voids. What I mean by that is empty shops, small empty shops across the city. 14% of shops in Manchester are actually empty. Because of our new AI robots, because of the utilization of AI, the robots are smarter and more gentle. And we can put them inside these small, messy shops, and they will still adapt and learn how to move around the shop. Also, this will allow us green delivery. What I mean by that is because we're closer to the consumer, we can deliver by bike or by foot. No more vans, no more traffic taxes. So here it's an action plan and my recommendations. To make this happen, I have a 3-step plan. First is the immediate action. The immediate action is to stop building giant hubs. We must stop spending more money on these giant hives. Then it's the research goals. To solve the clumsy robot problem, we need to spend money on research and development, in AI vision and soft hands to handle delicate food without the intervention of humans. And third of all is the actual business plan, where we stop being purely a construction company. Instead, we sell the brain as well, the AI software. We license our AI to retailers so they can run their own local robot networks. So to conclude, here's a summary of the presentation. We have analyzed the market, how taxes and costs are killing the big warehouse model. We have analyzed the tech, how AI allows us to move from rigid grids to flexible and have local robots spread across a city. And lastly, we have reached our vision. Our vision is that we must become a smart logistics company, selling the AI brain, not the steel warehouses. Thank you. I'm happy to take any questions. Oof.